Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to take really complex stuff and boil it down to the key insights for you.
And today, we are really going deep. We're looking into the cosmos itself, specifically through the lens of the Urantia book.
Yep. Focusing on its ideas about the universe's origin, history, destiny. It's huge.
It is. And this is actually part 20 of a much larger series we've been doing based on this book. We're now on slide 81 out of 161, so, we're well into it.
Right. Definitely not just scratching the surface here. We're getting into some really fundamental concepts about deity and cosmic reality. And to help us navigate, we've got some visual tools.
We do. We're using the Don Estes chart, which is,
Yeah.
well, it's a classic visualization of all these relationships, and our own adapted version, the blue chart.
That original chart sounds massive, like two big panels.
Oh, it was immense. Two 4-by-6-foot panels dating back to before 2011, really an attempt to map out these complex ideas visually.
Wow. And our blue chart builds on that.
Exactly. It's a digital version, cleaned up, enhanced, with a few corrections and some additions, like a list of 15 Tri-Unities, both known and, well, unknown ones.
Super helpful for seeing the big picture. And you, listening, can actually download these. There's a PDF for zooming in, and the blue chart might even make a cool computer background if you're really into it.
Yeah, definitely check those out on the website. So let's talk Tri-Unities. What are they, basically?
Good question. Think of them simply as groups of three key entities or absolutes that work together, like cosmic partnerships, operating at different levels of reality.
Right. And today we're zooming in on two specific ones, the 6th and the 7th.
So our mission for this deep dive, figure out what these two partnerships tell us about how reality is structured and, how deity fits into the whole picture. Ready to jump into number 6.
Let's do it. The 6th Tri-Unity, its formal name, is the Triunity of Cosmic Associated Deity.
Okay, cosmic associated deity. Sounds like it's about the origin of spiritual things.
That's exactly it. It signifies the ultimate source point for everything spiritual that's connected to, well, cosmic deity.
Gotcha. And it's made up of 3 parts, right?
3 parts. First, the universal Father. And it's kind of understood that the Son is inherently included there, since all things spiritual really flow from them together.
Makes sense. What's the second part?
The Deity Absolute. Now, this one embodies God's will active throughout the cosmos, like past, present, future. It's the divine intention behind everything that happens. The will of God made manifest, sort of.
Okay, the divine will and the
The
third.
universal absolute. This one represents more like the mind of God within the cosmos. It acts as the go-between, linking that divine will, the deity absolute, to actual reality.
Ah, so it connects the intention to the result.
Precisely. It's the mechanism, the cosmic how, that translates the will into what actually exists.
Interesting.
And what's really cool is how the deity absolute and the universal absolute together cover both that's immanence and what could be the future potential of deity, which is transcendence.
So like the present reality and the projected possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. It spans both.
Okay, so what does this mean practically, like for the universe day to day, or, well, eon to eon?
Well, the bottom line is nothing can happen, no finite event, no spiritual interaction, nothing outside the influence of this 6th Tri-Unity. It's the ultimate unifier and ground for all ongoing existence linked to deity.
That's huge. So basically everything real at its core comes from or through this specific trio.
Everything associated with cosmic deity, yes. It's the source. And that includes realities that might seem outside of deity itself, like, the finite universe, the unqualified absolute, even paradise. These are considered non-deity realities. But this Tri-Unity is the source of deity association for them.
Okay, I think I'm getting that. It's the foundational link for deity's presence. Shall we move on to number 7?
That's the 7th Tri-Unity. This one's called the Triunity of Infinite Unity.
Infinite unity.
Yeah.
Sounds even bigger, like it pulls everything together.
That's the core idea. It's described as the force that unifies all the realms.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual, mind, which is like mental and finite, material reality. It highlights the deep interconnectedness of everything.
Okay, so connecting spirit, mind, and matter. What are its 3 components?
First, again, the universal Father. He's central. Second is the conjoint actor.
Which is another name for the infinite spirit, right?
Exactly. And the Spirit's role here is crucial. It's the mediator. It actively bridges these different levels of reality, spirit, mind, finite. Think of it like a cosmic translator, allowing these different levels to interact and integrate.
Okay, the Father, the Spirit as mediator, and the third.
the universal absolute again. But here, it works closely with the conjoined actor. Their job together is to kind of smooth out the differences between all these incomplete realities.
Incomplete realities. You mean like the finite universe?
Yeah, things that aren't absolute or infinite, they compensate for the differences, digamos, imbalances, and pull everything towards a state of unity, like a cosmic equalizer.
Hmm. So this triunity, it deals with both what's real now and what's just potential.
Absolutely. It unifies the actual everything currently manifested and the potential, all the possibilities lying beyond our current experience. Past, present, future, actual potential, it brings it all into relationship.
And how do we see this unity playing out? What does it do?
Well, one of its absolutely vital jobs is distributing divine power and presence. It sends this out to all personality beings everywhere.
Like us, or like bigger cosmic beings.
Both, really, but especially the creator sons and daughters who manage universes and all the spiritual administrators. The point is, without this seventh triunity acting, they wouldn't have deity function or divine personality in the same way.
Wow, okay, so it's like the power grid for divine function across the cosmos.
That's a pretty good analogy, yeah.
Oh,
It enables that function. And what's really fascinating is that it responds to both deity and non-deity presences.
Like what non-deity presences?
Like paradise itself, the central isle, and the unqualified absolute, which is related to non-personal reality. By interacting with these, it can actually facilitate the creation of new, static, finite reality, drawing on the substance of paradise.
Drawing on paradise, that sounds incredibly fundamental.
It is. The book says this function is so primal, it's conceptually almost the same as the I am, the Father's fundamental self-existence.
Whoa, okay. That ties it right back to the source of everything. So, bringing this together, why is understanding these two triunities, 6 and 7, so important for us? What's the takeaway?
Well, I think grasping them helps us see the bigger picture. It shows how God, Father, Son, Spirit, and all the associated deities relate to everything else, from us finite beings all the way up to the absolutes. It gives a framework.
Right, it maps out the relationships in this incredibly complex system.
Exactly. It shows how deity isn't just static, but how it functions, how it's integrated across this vast, vast universe. And, importantly for us, it sheds light on where finite beings like you and me come from, spiritually speaking, and what our potential for growth is.
And it clarifies that point about spiritual growth, right? We ascend, but we don't actually become deity.
That's a really crucial distinction the book makes, yeah. Our ultimate destiny, as evolving mortals, is to become finaliters, perfected beings who've completed the journey and are associated with God the Father. But deity status, that's held by specific beings connected to the central administration of the universe, paradise beings and the like.
Okay, good clarification. So if people listening are intrigued and want to, explore this more themselves.
There are definitely resources. We mentioned the chart, the Don Estes chart, the blue chart, they're available. And the slides from this whole series, they're up on the 5th Epical Revelation Fellowship website. PDF, PowerPoint, whatever works.
So you can really dig in visually.
Yeah, I'd really recommend it. Even just spending a little time each day looking at the charts can help these concepts click.
Yeah,
They're complex.
absolutely. And looking ahead, what's next? Are there more of these cosmic groupings?
Oh, yes. Next time, we're going to look at something called Tri-Unities.
Tri-Unities. Sounds odd.
Yeah, well, they represent different kinds of cosmic combinations, distinct from the Tri-Unities.
Oh.
So, yeah, another layer to peel back and understanding how deity and reality fit together.
Always more layers. Okay, so just to quickly recap today, we looked at the 6th Triunity, cosmic associated deity, the source of spiritual connection, linking God's will to reality.
Yep. And the 7th Triunity, infinite unity, the great unifier of everything, actual and potential, that makes deity presence possible throughout the cosmos.
It really is mind-bending stuff thinking about these huge cosmic partnerships. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. How does knowing about these intricate structures, this vast cosmic architecture, how might that change how you see your own place, your own potential within it all? Thinking about a universe designed for beings like us to grow spiritually, even if becoming deity isn't the end goal itself.
That's a great question to ponder. What does that potential mean for you?
Exactly. Something to think about. We definitely encourage you to keep digging into these ideas.